Today has been a weird day. Don't really know what to say or what to think about it, to be honest with you. So I decided to come on here and do a stream just to get some thoughts out, to ramble. I don't know. If you guys are joining me, though, definitely let me know what's going on, how you're feeling and everything about stuff. This is not my normal topic, what I talk about here on the show. Don't really know how to express how I'm feeling, but I thought it'd be wise to come on here and just say as best as I could. So this is going to be a really heavy show, heavy topic. If you guys didn't see, which how could you not see, Charlie Kirk was assassinated today at a event. Let me bring this down a little bit. One of his live events in Utah. Depending on where you stand on the side, political side and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't really matter to me. The ramp up in political violence in this country has been really insane to see, to be honest with you. And it's not just, the pointing of the fingers that gets me when something like this happens, because everything is immediately politicized by a certain group, right off the bat, taking away the humanity, the sadness, the heartbreak of the entire situation with this, and immediately trying to do a spin to point the finger or get political clout on the other side. And it's just it's hard to see, man. It's hard to see what this country has become lately. Well, I guess it's been going now for 10 years. Time flies real quick. I followed Charlie for a long time. I thought, from what I've seen on his live streams, on his video clips, on his debating that he does, seemed like a very good man, open to discussion. Let's talk about this subjects, hard subjects sometimes to talk about. And he was always down to do it in an open setting, going to universities, talking to the opposition. And most of the time I always saw was very respectful. I thought it was a good example of how you can talk about these hard subjects, where most people that were talking and debating him and challenging him were adversarial, emotional, because that side works on emotion more than anything. I was at work today and I happened to see an update in one of the DM groups I'm in, and it just had a title. I didn't even fully read the title, but I saw Charlie Kirk in the video, and so I didn't know anything about it. And I clicked on the video. I was absolutely shocked to see what I saw. Now, the attempted assassination of Donald Trump last year was crazy enough in itself. Besides political sides, that should be nothing that anybody supports. Everybody should be on the same side on demonizing this. Political violence should never be accepted. It should not be accepted in America. And to see that this has kind of become more so the norm is very disheartening for the country that I love and live in. I saw this video when he got shot, and it was a close-up. I'm sure you guys have all seen it as well. Immediately I knew that there was no surviving that. But I have hope. And I prayed. And I do believe in the power of prayer. I saw a lot of people out there praying and sharing their prayers as well. And unfortunately, this time it didn't come through. I was like, maybe we get a second miracle. I absolutely believe that Trump avoiding the assassination last year was by the grace of God. I'm a Christian man, and I believe that miracles do happen. Unfortunately, for Charlie and his family, that did not happen this time around. The sad thing about it is thinking of his family, his wife, his two daughters. As a husband and a father myself, just imagining my family have to go on without me, or witnessing that for all the world to see, I can't even imagine what they're going through right now. So my thoughts and prayers definitely go out to them. Charlie was a man of faith, though. I know exactly where he's at. And so, as sad as I am to see this happen to someone that I admire, I respect, I followed, I also know that he lived his life by faith. And he's exactly where he wants to be right now. But the rest of us, we got to sit back here and really assess what is going on with this. What is the message that we just all witnessed today? And I'll take a look at the chat here in a second. I need to ramble and get this off my chest, because I don't know, we just went through the video of that girl getting murdered in North Carolina, and that affected me as well, from the standpoint of a father thinking of their young daughter. Mine's only 6, but when she grows up, going out in the world and having to face that kind of world that we've created. And I do believe we've created this world by a lot of people standing silent and not pushing back on a lot of these things. And it's allowed this rhetoric to rise unchecked. And there's been people that push back, but there's not enough. Not enough voices out there really letting people know that this is a dangerous path to go down. And are we at a point where there's no coming back? I don't think people are going to really understand the impact of a public figure like Charlie Kirk being assassinated, and what that's going to actually do, what that's going to mean. I don't think whoever did this really thought it through, because I believe that you are just creating a martyr, and everything that he stood for is going to be pushed to the extreme now by followers of his. Somebody's going to come around and pick up where he left off and absolutely bring that movement going forward. And the thing that I do not get is I don't understand why we are at a point now where we can't have open discourse, discussion, debates. We've lost the ability to talk to people. And somehow, some way, people have been trained, brainwashed, whatever you want to say, to thinking that disagreement, apparently now, is cause for assassination or murder. Like, this is the acceptable move now for the left. And I don't want to just say the left, because everybody paints a broad brush in these situations. It's really easy to get on here and be angry. I'm very angry about what I just saw and witnessed today. It took me a while to collect my thoughts. It emotionally hit me hard, harder than I thought it was going to. And I gotta imagine that is the reason why it was done. It was done in public to scare you, to silence your voice. What was Charlie? Charlie was one of the biggest voices in the conservative Christian movement, whatever you want to call it, group. When people like that in broad daylight are murdered, assassinated in front of you, for you to witness and to see, it's to scare you, to silence you. So more so than the assassination of Charlie Kirk, this was a warning shot to conservatives, Christians, Republicans, that your voice is no longer tolerated. That you now have to fear going to a public setting and having open discourse. You now have to fear going to church. I have to say that I've seen it so much and people talk about it, is nothing new. Nothing I'm saying here is new. It's just me rambling. The way that we allow our media to spit lie after lie, narrative after narrative, without any repercussion, is absolutely sickening. For people to go on and call other people Nazis, to make it okay for violence to happen to these people, to the people that they don't like, has got to be stopped at some point. The freedom of the press, all that kind of BS. I mean, how far does that go when you are spinning violent narratives? When do they get held responsible for these things? And immediately you see the Democratic senators or governors, the governor, who was it? J.D. Pritchard, is that his name, for Illinois, basically blaming Trump, right? Anytime something violent happens in this nation, it's Trump's fault, right? It doesn't matter who it is. They all politicize it and push it back on one man. That doesn't help the cause either. That doesn't help anything. That just spins these narratives and these people, these sick, fucked up minds of these people out there that consume this shit every fucking day. And they think their words don't have any weight. You can just go out there and say what you want to say. You call somebody Nazi long enough, white supremacist, racist, homophobic, you start painting this picture that they deserve bad things to happen to them. Violence, up to and including death. And you put that out there into the sick individual minds of the people that sit there and watch your stuff day after day. And you are allowed to lie day after day without any repercussions. And you wonder why these sick individuals take it upon themselves to cause violence, to go shoot up schools, to go shoot up churches, to assassinate political rivals. Charlie wasn't even a political, I mean, yeah, he was political. He wasn't in office. He wasn't running for anything. And yet somebody took the time to station themselves up on a roof, so similar to the Trump assassination attempt, specifically to take Charlie out. And I think somebody said this was like his first day of the tour that he does. Over what? I see leftists, and again, I do not want to do this broad painting, this broad brush of people. Not every leftist thinks this way. Not every liberal thinks this way. But it's hard for me not to just pinpoint it on that side of the aisle when something like this happens. And so I don't mean to be offensive out there to anybody that might be in the chat who might be a Democrat or leftist and do not think the way that these crazy people do. To know that that is not directed at you. But I can only go with what I'm seeing on a daily basis. And social media is just a fragment of the country. But unfortunately, it's the loudest and the place where the most wretched people seem to go to spew their BS all over the place. And those same people, I don't understand. I mean, there's a reason why we live in a fallen world. Absolutely. This is why I believe that we are firmly in the end times. Just the value of human life has been degraded so much by people that I see something that should be a heartbreaking event that collectively we can all sit here and agree on that and maybe put aside differences for one fucking day to recognize the severity of what has just happened. And yet, I just see these people full of hate, dancing and celebrating the death of another human being. Honestly, it's that kind of stuff. It hits me to the core. Angers me, yes. I spent my time out throughout the day, be very angry at what happened. And it's easy for me to look at the stuff online and get pissed off. You know, I want justice. I want repercussions. I want things to happen. But then at the same point, this really breaks my heart for who we are as people. And that we can sit here as human beings openly reveling in the pain of others. No thought for anyone else but themselves. No thought of a wife now alone, having to take care of 2 kids, young kids. The trauma of seeing your husband assassinated live. I'm sure they've seen the video. Scarring as that's got to be for the rest of their life. 2 little girls that don't get to grow up with their dad being there. I just can't believe I see this. And my immediate thought is anger. And that's not really the person I try to be. But I don't know what to do with where we're headed with all this. I don't know where this is going to end. If one side cannot respect even the most basic, fundamental, moral rule of life itself, then where are we going? Regardless of wherever you stand politically, religiously, I'm not preaching to you tonight about any of that. But there are consequences to the actions that we let happen. And how long are we going to let this happen? What can we do? Can you vote 2026, 2028? Try to vote the right people in power? Maybe that will instill your ideals. But man, when Trump got shot, that was something. He survived. It was a nick. It was the grace of God that he survived. And it was a shocking thing to see happen to a political figure. We haven't, you know, our parents, grandparents grew up with the Kennedy assassination. I've talked many times to my dad, my uncles, grandparents, where they were when this happened, hearing them, how that affected them, how that affected the nation, fear, and all that kind of stuff. Trump's was interesting because it was something that kind of invoked those feelings, but then it was swept under the rug real quick because we have a piece of shit media that will bend anything to their will for their narratives. I mean, just think about that for a second. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. A front runner for the president of the United States was nearly assassinated. In one side of the aisle, again, we're dancing and cheering, wishing that it had actually happened. The other side of the aisle was pissed off about it, and not just because it was their front runner, their guy, because it's not what we do here in this country. That happened only a handful of times in our country throughout the 250 years that we've been established. It's a rarity, and we are divulging into that kind of country, and it's really only one side that is pushing that narrative. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And a lot of this is all based on a matter of difference of opinion. Difference of fucking opinion. Emotionally stunted people can't handle that, and they resort to violence. And you get what you got today. A day that's going to go down in history. You're not going to forget this day. I'm not going to forget this day. I'm not going to forget that video. I wish I'd never seen it. Unfortunately, I did. And it's burnt into my brain now. It's crazy. Just to think that this is where we're at in 2025 in the United States of America. Political violence, assassinations, rhetoric that's been drummed up for fucking years and allowed to sit and fester in the weak-minded. Fucking evil. We are witnessing evil incarnate over the last few years, just ramping up. And you got to wonder, when's going to be the next time? When is going to be the next time that people see you can get away with this now? These people don't care if they get caught. If they are killed doing this, if they're put away for life, if they're executed, they don't care. Their cause is greater in their mind because Charlie Kirk's, Donald Trump, whoever else you want to put up there, has been painted as this threat by the Democrats, by the mainstream media, and nobody has done a fucking thing. Celebrities in Hollywood, they do the same shit again and again. They come out, say the same rhetoric, narrative, push the same lies, and nobody does anything. Nobody's banned. No media is shut down. Sure, there's been some... Trump has sued some people and won. Great. That hasn't stopped anybody. Like, where is the accountability for this? And yet, they're going to go on their shows tonight, even currently when it was going on, when the news first dropped, and start spinning. It's sickening to see the spin immediately happen. To see the vile things that people say. There's this one dude that said that is speculating, complete speculation, which is fucking horseshit. If you're reporting on a live situation, you're supposed to be the news. Report facts. Don't sit there and give me your fucking opinion. I don't give a shit what you think. You sit there and say, maybe this was a supporter of Charlie, celebrating by shooting his gun and just randomly shot the dude in the throat. The most idiotic shit I've ever heard come out of someone's mouth. And it's that narrative. Someone is getting in those people's ear and they're saying, we need to start spinning this. You need to start saying this stuff before it's even turned on us. And that's what it is. They know that they have radicalized people. They know that they can't put the genie back in the bottle. They've done this for so long, and now that monster is out, and they can't control it, and it's out there doing it. It's going to make them look bad. This is absolutely going to hurt them in the midterms. It should hurt them in 2028. We should not forget this when you're going to vote. You should not forget this, because these are the people that are trying to take back power in the country. And again, I don't give a shit where you stand politically or religiously. These are not the people you want running your country. Hands down. They should never be allowed to be in power again. I saw some people in the House, they wanted to do a moment of silence. I think Lauren Boebert wanted to do a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. And these pieces of shit Democratic senators, representatives couldn't stay silent. What does that tell you? This isn't your mom and dad's Democrat, Republican parties, disagreements on where the country's supposed to go. But we can still shake hands. When the other one's in power, we'll work again in 4 years to try to get there, and then we will implement. But we all want the country going a certain way. We all want the same things. We just have different ways of getting there. This is radical left. And they all complain about the far right. You know, the far right's not in control of anything. The radical left, though, has been poisoning this country for a long time. The establishment, whatever you want to call it, goes both sides. Yeah, there have been Republicans in the past, too, that are not worth a fucking damn thing. A lot of our senators and representatives right now in Congress, Republican side, are worthless. I'd like to see them have their asses voted out. Don't do a fucking thing for this country. Just play the same old game again and again, around and around. Nothing changes. This isn't even a poor, rich thing. This is just the way that we are ran, the way we are governed, the people that we elect to represent us. The reason why I think Trump became so popular amongst a lot of people is it was a major pushback to the entire system. And of course, the left had to come in and frame this stuff. They always do. They love throwing the racist card around. You know, massages, whatever they can do to get a leg up with the political points when it comes to minorities or whatever. That's what they do. It's the same playbook again, and it's exhausting. I mean, if you haven't seen it by now, I don't know what you've been watching. You need to pay attention if you haven't seen it by now. When Trump came in, it was a breath of fresh air, and probably the best president I've seen. Perfect? No. People don't like the way he talks sometimes. I don't give a shit. I want somebody who's going to run the country the way that it should be ran, with the American people first in mind. I want somebody who's going to push back on this lunacy, this absolute lunacy that the Democrat Party holds up as their ideals. I don't care if you're gay, straight, black, white, male, female. You're all cool with me. I got my own opinions on life, my own opinions on things when it comes to my religion, my political views. There are a few things that I absolutely will not stand for, and that's the abuse of children. When it comes to the transgender aspect of things, everybody, even the transgender community, the gay community, should be against that stuff. Leave the kids alone. How can we not sit here collectively together and say, until a child is deemed an adult, they do not get to make decisions that are going to alter their life and their bodies like that. We are parents. We are there. We are established to protect them from making those decisions because their brain isn't formed yet to take those heavy, life-changing decisions and make them for themselves. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. You do not know that you are gay when you are 4 or 5. You do not know that you are the opposite sex when you are in kindergarten. Those are the things that get pushed back on and should get pushed back on. I'm sorry. I will never budge on that. Ever. You want to turn 18, or when you turn 18, you want to do what you want to do with your body, with your life, you go right ahead. I'm going to agree with it, but I'm not going to judge it. That's you. That's your life to live. You do it. This shit is just pushed on us again and again and again. And they get looked at like, oh, you know, if they don't have this happens, you're killing kids. Kids are going to die if they don't do this. You put this poisoned idea into the hands, the minds of these individuals that really think this is a life and death situation. And then you just let them out into the world and wonder what the fuck they are going to do. And this isn't a gun conversation. I'm sure they're probably going to turn it again to gun control and all that kind of stuff. I already saw people making jokes about, you know, Charlie Kirk was all for gun rights, and then he was killed by a gun. Like, oh yeah, really funny jokes out there, people. Again, disrespect of a person's life. You can't even let somebody be gone for a fucking minute before you just roll out there and make videos. I saw this video, or AI video, making Charlie stand up for trans rights. It's just, it's so hard not to get extremely angry and just want to blast these people. And I don't want to do that. I want to find a way we can go forward without attacking the opposition to make a difference, to change things. But you're making it real fucking hard. I appreciate everybody that's in the chat, everybody's watching. I'm just rambling out thoughts right now. Guys, I've seen some super chats come in, and I'll definitely check those out. But I would ask that save the money, find a way to get that money to Charlie Kirk's family. I'm not advertising my books. I'm not advertising my store tonight. I really don't want any money on this. You have a family that just lost their father, husband. They're going to need all the help they can get, financially, emotional. I'm sure Charlie Kirk was well off with what he did, but it doesn't matter. I mean, save that for them. So then I see, let me share this. Of course, I was in my haste to come down here and stream. I was like, I told my wife she's making dinner. I was like, I'm going to stream for a little bit. I know you're making dinner. I'm going to try to get some thoughts out because it's just been stewing in my head since I saw the video of his assassination. And it hit me different than most stuff hits me, because I followed this dude for years. I've listened to, I've agreed. He's just good dude that makes good sense, good arguments. And he really kind of showed the way to how to debate with people respectfully. You know, it was kind of like losing a friend. That's what it felt like. You know, which is why I took so offense to everything in general, because it's not just like you killed Charlie, who was a head of a movement that made that connection with his fans, his friends, but you also send a message to like me to be silent. If this is what you believe, be silent, because this could happen to you. And that fucking pisses me off, because that's not free speech in this country. That's fear, trying to drive fear. So I saw this earlier. I saw this shared by Ethan Van Sciver and a bunch of other people. This Gretchen Felker Martin and fucking cunt. It pisses me off that she has the same name as my mother. This piece of shit should never be graced with this fucking name. posted this, and this is what I just do not understand. Entertainment. How you want to piss off and push away half of your fan base because you need to put shit out like this. Now, this bitch apparently is the writer of Batman. I don't know. But upon hearing the news that Charlie Kirk was shot, I don't even know if he was announced dead at this point, said, "Thoughts and prayers, you Nazi bitch." Wow. That's it's bold words there, Gretchen. What the fuck is that even supposed to mean? What any proof do you have besides the normal rhetoric, again, that goes into the brains of weak-minded individuals like this, festering in this fucked up mind of this person, hearing the narrative over and over again, white supremacist, racist, Nazi. And so that justifies you to be joyful, celebratory of this person's potential death. And then you had to follow that up. The audacity to follow that up with, "I hope the bullet's okay after touching Charlie Kirk." DC Comics, Warner Brothers, is this who you want representing you? Writing a character like Batman, who is 1,000% against any of this shit. It's bad enough that you put this person on Batman or let them touch any of your characters in your catalog based on, I'm sure if you go down the social media of this person, based on any of that shit. But then to allow someone like this without repercussions, as I've heard, as I haven't heard anything otherwise, and put this vile, hateful rhetoric out there. Why is it that they can sit here and say that the right are the violent, hateful ones? Do you see the right going out and saying, "I am glad that this person got shot"? No, the right doesn't go out and assassinate people. They just don't. In fact, if something like this happened, it would be the right that would be pushing back on it. It doesn't matter. Let's just say, let's replace Charlie Kirk with, I don't know, anybody on the left. We would all be collectively pissed off that that happened because we do not want that political violence in our society. It doesn't matter who you are. Nothing justifies this. Nothing makes this right. Words. I grew up in a generation, I'm 43 years old. When I was growing up, my mom and dad always told me, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. And yet again and again and again, we see these people hurt by words, opinions that someone else has. And we see this all the time. And that justifies you now to kill the other person, to kill the opposition, because they said something that hurt your fucking feelings. It's the same thing with all these TikTokers and everybody else jumping around and celebrating every time a conservative voice dies, celebrating the death of Hulk Hogan, celebrating the near assassination of Donald Trump, celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We sit and we watch that and we don't do anything about it. Now, I'm not saying violence. I'm not saying we need to act like them, because that isn't the answer either. Violence doesn't beget violence. If we start doing what they're doing, what's that going to do? That's not going to solve anything. But there needs to be something done. We cannot let this shit keep happening. We can't let pieces of shit like this be working in our entertainment if you're going to go out and celebrate the death of a person. Think what that family has to go through and then get online, if they do, and see all of this shit being said about your dad and about your husband that you just lost. Nobody thinks of this shit It's just selfish, indulgent, again and again by these sick fucking people. And I don't know what to do about that. Something needs to be done, but I don't know what to do about that. If it was up to me, all those videos would be taken down. Their channels would be struck. They would not be able to make videos again. Freedom of speech is one thing. I get that. But common decency, morality has been lost in this country. It's been lost in this world. I'm religious. Religion. I believe in God. I believe we live in a fallen world, and this is what we get. And it's ramping up, man. The evil in this world is ramping up, and you can feel it. And social media, it just expands it for us all to see. I know death and murder and all that shit has been happening for centuries. But we see it every single day because it's desensitizing us to it. Because we don't care. You get on X, you can see uncensored videos of people dying all the fucking time. Whether it's car crashes, people being murdered, shot, stabbed. We see uncensored videos of people dying all the time. Some people laugh at it, just scroll on, hit the like button, share it. I used to work with two dudes a couple years back when I worked for the city that would sit there. I don't even know what sites they were on, but they just got their kicks by watching these videos of people dying. They thought it was so funny. And they wanted to show me all the time. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to see that. Life is precious to me. For people that I don't like, it's still precious to me. I believe that your life is important. The breath of God made you, regardless of whoever you are. That is a precious thing. Watching my dad die. Damn, it's almost be 2 years soon. Changed my thought process on a lot of things. And for anybody that's been out there that's lost a loved one, you probably understand how precious that life is, especially when you see it leave from a person. That is not shit that we laugh at. But we've been trained to say that's okay. And somebody that watches that shit all day and gets drummed up with all of the rhetoric they see probably seems like it's real easy to take that life because it matters not to them or the people that they watch and support. And so we can watch stuff like October 7th and Palestine invading Israel. And we can see all the horrible videos that came out of there. We can see the dead, mangled bodies. And we just go on our day. You can see the devastation of war. Dead children, and we just walk on like nothing ever happens. You can hear the reports, the numbers, the amount of babies that we have killed in the womb, and just swipe left and keep on going. I'm a pretty hopeful person, and that's not going to change me going forward. But man, I look at some of this stuff and I just see the fall of humanity happening right in front of us. And we are just all too eager to push it right along. And we get caught up so much in the fucking BS. the idealistic wars that we have, the arguments that become so important in our lives. None of that shit matters, man. What matters is, should matter, is your family, your wife, your kids, your parents, your siblings. We get caught up in this fucking social media garbage day after day. Yeah, I've been caught up in it too before. I tried to make a change in my life not too long ago. Kind of coincided with the death of my father. That I wanted to be a better representation of who I was. I had to remember that I'm a Christian. I'm supposed to represent Christ when I'm on streams, when I'm talking with people. I've tried my best to be a better example in that area. And days like today make it really hard because I just want to come in here. I just want to blast people. I just want to go off. I want to say the most vile shit that I can think of because I think that makes it better. And that'll quench the anger and emotion that I'm feeling at this time. And it's just empty. I titled this "Why I Will Never Support DC Comics Again," and I won't, as long as this Gretchen person is working at that company. Boycott it, call it whatever you want. I'm not supporting a company that would employ someone and let that person go and say this kind of stuff out there, disrespecting the life of someone, disrespecting their family. Just hate in their heart. And that's what it is. Evil hate in someone's heart to justify that this was okay. So no, I'm not buying another DC comic. I'm calling up my LCS tomorrow. I'm taking all DC books off my pull list. I am not going to watch another fucking DC movie as long as this woman, this thing, whatever the fuck she is working at DC Comics. And I hope that a lot of you out there do the same and join with me in that. I've seen boycotts work. Bud Light was absolutely crippled. I think it could happen again. I think it should happen. And it sucks because I was really liking the way that DC was going. I'm not a big boycott person, but I cannot justify giving my money to a company that supports this. And I won't. And anybody else that I see that puts the same shit out there that works for DC or Marvel or anything, you are not getting my money. And I'm not the kind of guy that just says, hey, I'm not going to buy this because you support this or you support that. Shit happens. A lot of things happen in this world that I can't control, that I don't like. But a lot of times I let that shit slide. But not this. No. This is a bridge too far, as they say. To openly sit there and celebrate while it's fresh. Charlie Kirk was in the hospital or wherever he was, still clinging to life. There was prayers happening. Can you imagine the prayers that his wife was saying in that moment? Can you put yourself in that position? And before the blood was even dry, these people took to social media like the fucking vampire vipers that they are, spewing this hate. And I will not forget that. And it sucks because I like a lot of stuff that's coming out of DC right now, and I was excited about things. I'm not buying Hush again. I was really excited to see the rest of Hush. I'm not buying the new Batman #1 that I was excited to see coming out. I hadn't even read it yet. We were going to review it on Ott and stuff. Me and Sean. I was looking forward to that. But fuck you, DC, Warner Brothers. If you're going to still have these people, Jim Lee, step up and do something fucking right. Make some noise. You can't let this shit go unpunished. There has to be consequences. There has to be fucking consequences for this shit. So what kind of example are you setting? That you can just let this go. It's time entertainment companies start representing the people that support their books, that pay money to be entertained without this political BS and just fucking mental deranged people spewing their hate. They get so pissed off that if a Christian or conservative dare utter their feelings on the LGBTQ, gay marriage, whatever. These are just opinions, people. These are just words. Again, words can't hurt you. If you allow words to get into your mind and hurt you and cause you to change the way that you view life or how you act or how you feel about you, then you are a weak-minded individual. You don't deserve to be on your own. You need to go back to mom and dad. You need to let them take care of you again. If words hurt you this much, grow the fuck up. I see it all the time on internet, trolls, chats. I don't give a fuck when people come in and troll me. Who the fuck are you? Nothing you say bothers me, affects my life in what way whatsoever. I see people that get pissed off because I went on the Kings. It's funny, before I became a king, nobody ever said a bad thing about me or Reaper Destroyer. But the moment I do, trolls. That's fine. Bring it on. I don't care. You know what? I laugh at that. There's some funny things people say sometimes. You don't bother me. It doesn't hurt my feelings. You can call me an EBS bootlicker, whatever you want to say. Shit don't bother me. I'll laugh right on a good one. You got me. That made me laugh. Good times. Because words don't hurt. Somebody forgot to tell a lot of people that growing up. That message needs to be put back out there. Stop being so fucking weak. Think for yourself. Don't let the TV do it. Don't let social media do it. Don't freak out that the world's ending because so-and-so is in office. Sorry, I haven't really been reading the chat. Let me see if I can get you guys. You guys are hopping today. Shout out to the 56 people that are in here listening to me rant, working this out in live. And I had to do this live. And it's not for views. It's not for, again, I don't want super chats. I might not even keep this up after I end this. But There are just things I needed to say, and I feel like I need to get it out there to people that are listening. I feel like somebody's got to listen. Somebody's got to hear something. Somebody's got to take something from this. Somebody's got to see this. Somebody's got to change their ways. God, please, I'm praying that somebody sees this and just sees the reality of the situation, the severity of what we were dealing with here and where this might go. I mean, that's the scariest. That's the scariest thing to me is this an end or a beginning? If this is a beginning, strap in, because this is going to head to someplace nobody wants to be. I don't want to see retaliations out there. I don't want to see the right deciding they've had a fucking enough, because we've had enough. And then retaliating. I don't want to see that, because that's not going to lead us anywhere except down a path that we don't want to go. Wyatt for $10, appreciate it. Said it's clear what the score is. They want those who disagree dead, but will settle for our silence. They think the debate is settled. Making enemies of neighbors is insane. We all want the same thing. Yeah, Wyatt, that's 100%. I agree. So much of this country is more center one way or the other. But it's the far reaches of the political parties that have the biggest voice and have the biggest presence on social media and in the mainstream media that are ruining our way of life. More and more churches are getting armed security. Think about that. When I was growing up, never even crossed our minds that going to church could be a dangerous thing. And not just big churches, little churches, small churches, not just Catholic, but all denominations. My brother is a deacon at his church, part of the security team there. They are armed every Sunday, just in case. It's getting to a point where I think every church should do that. I live in fear that my daughter is going to go to school one day and some crazy leftist lunatic is going to show up for some odd reason. I want schools to be armed security. We are past the point of hoping that this shit doesn't happen anymore and just living in the reality that it does happen. This is our world now. Adjust to it. Charlie Kirk's assassination for all the world to see was no mistake. That was put out there to send a message, to put everybody in place, because they lost power in 2024. They're afraid they're not going to get it back in 2028. And they're doing everything they can to get that back. Do not let them show up in the midterms in mass. Make sure you are a part of that. Be a part of your local state elections. Show up in mass in 2028. There was a major pushback in 2024. It's beautiful to see. Beautiful to see. I stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning watching that election. And it made me feel proud as an American to see the country recognize what was going on and taking back their country. Now there is a remnant left, a violent remnant that will do anything to get their power back. Don't let them. And let's don't do it through violence. Let's do it the way that we can. Let's stamp this shit out once and for all. Win the midterms in 2026. Keep the presidency with whoever's coming up next. JD Vance, I don't give a shit. Somebody that's going to carry on and keep pushing back on this lunacy in 2028 and just Put the death blow on it. Scotsman TV for $5. Appreciate it. Thank you. Says, thank you for speaking out. I'm pretty shook. This one stung. The left is in serious danger of finding out. Yeah, this one stung a lot, man. This affected me more than anything I could think in recent memory. I was pretty shook up when Trump was almost assassinated, but he was fine. He did the fight, everything. It was like a rallying call. It was much different. The only way I can take it is that this was a warning shot through a representative of ours, a voice of ours, straight to us. They're trying to kill that movement. Charlie Kirk worked with a lot of young people, brought in a lot of young voters. That's why I said this wasn't just, in my opinion, a lunatic going out there and saying, I'm just crazy. I'm gonna take this guy out. Is this the way I feel? No. This was calculated. You take out a voice like Charlie Kirk, who ran multiple companies, went around, did healthy debate, just slaughtering these people in debate. Because emotion can't beat facts. And that's all that these people had going against him all the time, were just emotion. And he would drop those facts. And he made such great points. He was well spoken. And a lot of the young voters have come in through Turning Point and other companies that he had. And you take him out thinking that that's going to cut the head off the snake, so to speak, of that movement. And that's why I said, like, this was calculated. This was a political assassination, like the governor of Utah said, to try to kill momentum for 2026 and 2028, which is why I said this is a move to make you afraid, to silence you, to silence other conservative voices from going out and doing these live events, because they are trying to say, we can get you anytime, anywhere. They almost did it with Trump. They got Charlie. They've almost done with Trump 3 times. And that's all they're saying. We can do it. Because they're willing to do it. Because they are that crazy. Or they're that hungry for power. ID Crisis Design for $2. Thank you. And again, guys, I don't need super chats or want super chats. I'm going to try to get to the chat here in a second. Catch a couple of you guys definitely saying a lot of things, and thank you for listening to me just rant about stuff. But if you have any money and you want to give it, I'm not advertising comics, I'm not advertising my store, I'm not doing anything like that tonight. Find, if it's legit, a GoFundMe or whatever they're putting out there for Charlie Kirk's family. Go donate that to them. For $2 says, the left created a Ben Kenobi midterms a lock. Yeah. When they took a shot at Trump, that really drove a lot of people. That got Elon Musk in the race. Got a lot of other big figures, big names that kind of eventually came in. Joe Rogan, all that kind of stuff. October 7th was another thing that turned a lot of people, because you could just see the rhetoric going around in the country. I don't care who you support in that when it comes to Israel, Palestine. But you see how these things are used, how they're twisted politically, because these people don't give a shit about you, me, about Israel, Palestine. They care about drumming up votes. That's why they cater to minorities. They cater to LGBTQ, trans. And they don't do it because they care about those people. They do it because they push the victim mentality to say, look what these people have done to you. Look what they are trying to do. They're evil. These people hate you. Your lives are in danger. They drum up that fear. They get them controlled because they think that it's going to help them out at the ballot box. Unfortunately, what you're doing is radicalizing a ton of people to create violence, to try to bring in communism, So many young people thinking that that's the way to go. So many people that are just lied to. And I feel bad for a lot of them, to be honest with you. In some ways, I'm just like, why? Don't be so dumb. I remember being young and naive. I do, unfortunately. I remember being the person that would believe a lot of stuff. I didn't live life long enough. You know, you start hearing things for the first time, and that's what it is. And you start believing that stuff. It's very easy to fall for lies when you're young, and that's who they attack. They attack the young. Colleges. That's why it was so important for Charlie Kirk to be going to these universities where they're brainwashed, for a better lack of a better word, in these universities to hate us, to hate Christians, to hate white people, to hate the conservatives, to be taught victimhood and all this stuff, and they get radicalized and they come out of college, and that's how they grow their voter base. And Charlie Kirk went into the lion's den to debate these people respectfully with facts, and he's done this for years, and he was able to turn so many people, to break him out of that brainwashing. And now that voice is gone, and that leaves a huge hole in sanity. Common sense was silenced today. The good thing is there will be more that pops up from this. Charlie will be a martyr for a movement going forward. It just sucks that it had to happen this way. And I know Charlie's a man of faith, and he's up there in heaven right now. And I'm sure that is just, his worries are over, man. Unfortunately, it was a quick death. If anyone saw that video, I know they said he was stable and they had a pulse or whatever that was. The reports that were going on, but if you guys saw that, you know. I think it was a quick way to go. Fortunately, God put him on this earth to achieve a task, and he did. And it was time to come home. Unfortunately for us and for his family, we're left with the pieces down here to put together. Leandro, what's going on, brother? Says, I'm a father of 3 girls. I see the video footage of him with his daughter, laughing and picking her up. It's maddening that his daughter will not be raised by a loving father. Yeah, it breaks my heart, man. I can't help but see the world as a dad and a husband now that I've been one for a number of years. And I think that's why some of this stuff, it affects me a lot more than it probably would have if I was a younger man, or if I didn't have that in my life to know what was taken away. Why I say what's going on, brother, says, honestly, that is why I don't tell kids they need to go to college for art anymore. If you need to teach, sure, but otherwise learn on your own through apprenticeship. I agree, man. I would stay out of the colleges. Parker Luck says, even though I don't know this Charlie person or his work personally, I believe deep leftists take this country back to a certain night back in 1865 when a leader named Abraham Lincoln was murdered. Yeah, it's kind of a interesting pattern that they've created. I know JFK was a Democrat, but Democrats back in the day are really a lot of times they're kind of the Republicans of today, to be honest with you. I mean, if I was growing up or if I was an adult in the 50s and 60s, I might have been a Democrat. JFK was, I mean, I did a lot of reading on JFK. I mean, this isn't, like I said, this isn't your mom and dad's Democrat Party anymore. This is far left activists that are seriously messing this world up. It's not just this country, it's all over the place. You can see it all over the world, man. Bancroft says, yeah, apparently it's rampant, just bureaucrat appointments, all DI focused, of course. AZHQ's in the house, says people in my country have already started the it's guns talk. Of course they did. Meanwhile, we are in a knife gun murder epidemic, definitely between us and Oz. The victims are completely defenseless. Yeah, the whole gun thing, I'm waiting for it. I have not been on social media much in the last couple hours. I just had to step away after all this went down. But the whole gun talk, I mean, what are you going to do? Take guns away from us. People are going to find ways to kill people with a knife. Look at the dude that murdered that. Look at the black man that murdered that white woman yesterday. That was with a pocket knife. Don't fucking tell me that banning guns or gun control is going to do a damn thing. You're just going to cause people to go find something else to murder, because it's not a gun problem, it's a people problem. It's the same fucking rhetoric because it's true. There's evil that are in the hearts of people. If they want to murder somebody, they're going to find a way to do it. Whether it's a gun or a knife or a car. How many people get run over in groups of people? See a lot of you guys in the chat. I appreciate being here tonight. I didn't really have a purpose for this show, except I just needed to exercise thoughts that were just rattling around in my head, and I didn't know how else to do that. So it's nice to kind of come in here and just, again, this is not what I usually talk about on this channel, on this show, and this might be the only time hopefully I ever do this. Picardian's Abyss. Prayers for America affected by division and violence. You guys helped my province this summer with wildfires. I don't forget that. I hate to see such things happening in your fine country. Thank you, man. Yeah, it's really, really disappointing. I mean, it's like when you tell your kid that you're disappointed in their actions. Like, it's how I feel about this country. I love this country. Not disappointed in the country. I'm disappointed in the actions of the people in this country that call themselves liberal or left. And not all of you. I know there's a lot of good people out there that do not think the same way these people think, but unfortunately they are the voice for you. They are the loudest and they are representing you. Try to remember that as well when you're going to the ballot box. Does that party represent you anymore? Are you just voting because that's what you've always done? Well, if that's the case, change it up, man. Start paying attention to the actual world and stop just going by tradition of voting for the letter. I know, because I did that for a long time when I was younger. When I first started to vote, I just voted Republican. I didn't pay attention to politics. It was boring. I had women to chase after, you know, partying to do, drinking to do. I didn't pay attention to actual issues and who was best suited for the country when it came to those issues. So get involved. Try to at least understand what's going on. Try to at least understand what your party is doing and what they represent. I'm still a registered Republican, but I left the Republican Party a long time ago. In my mind, I'm way more independent. I've said this before. I'll vote for whoever I think has my standards as a leader, my moral convictions, and what I think is going to do the best for my family. That's who I vote for. I don't look at letters. I'm not influenced by tradition. I want the right person in charge. More of us need to do that now more than ever. Rick Saylor, remember the channel? What's going on, brother? Said, did you see the bill California is trying to pass? It's basically let anyone come take your kids. People in Cali need to run. Yeah, pray that Newsom will never become president. I don't think it will happen, honestly, because he just stands for the same old shit that has been pushed back on in 2024. And I cannot see America wanting to take a step back, because the only thing the left has right now against the right is emotional arguments. They don't have any policies that are going to help us out. They have fear mongering and emotion, because that's all they do. That's all they know how to do. They don't know how to govern. They just want that power, their status, their prestige. With people like AOC and Jasmine Crockett, social media whores. That's all it is. There's no reason they should ever set foot in government, but yet they do, because it's not really about what's best for you or me. It's just fucking social media addiction that got them in office. And then they jump around, do their dances. Jasmine Crockett's talking all ghetto, trying to be cool. Sounding like a fucking retard. AOC just sounds dumb in general. Good looking, but dumb. Angela Curry says, the 2012 election woke me up about voting just because R by their name. Yeah. After I voted for Bush twice, and after I decided to finally pay attention to what the hell was going on in life, I never voted for Republican again until Trump. And I didn't even vote for him the first time, because I was so disenfranchised with elections. I just thought they were going to put Hillary in. I had no confidence that a Republican was ever going to win again. And when Donald Trump got in, I laughed. I thought it was funny. I was like, well, at least Hillary didn't get in. But I had no real hope at that time. I wasn't like a hard MAGA guy at that moment, because I was so thought like, whatever. The establishment runs everything. Whoever their puppet in is, that's just what it's going to be. I saw it with Bush. And then Donald Trump, after 2 years in office, completely changed my mind. And I was like, this is a president. This is someone that's taking care of our country, that's pushing back on the idiocy. And this is somebody that is going to get my support. And I've been a supporter ever since. And I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about that, because it's about what I think is best for me and my family. And I don't care if feelings are hurt by people out there. I just don't. Matt said, I'm grateful Ethan posted that Red Hood writer's post. Red Hood is my favorite character, and I'll be dropping that book. Probably going to drop all DC. Yeah. Do it, brother. Do it, Matt. Yeah, shout out. It was the first time I saw it, too. Ethan put that out there. So, yeah, shout out for Ethan coming front lines, putting that shit out there. Kind of a call to arms, I guess, if you could say. I encourage everybody to drop DC. As long as that bitch is working there, and anybody else that is like her is working there, that will come out and spew vile shit out of their mouths, get rid of them. You will not get my support. I hope you guys are all the same as well. Oh yeah, Trudeau, yeah. Oh yeah, Bancroft's in Australia. Yeah, for sure. That, you know, there's a lot of other countries that have a lot worse than us, which is why I'm so desperate, want to hold on to what we have here in this country, and not want to see that go, not want to let that go. We can't let these people win. 2024 is a revelation. Watching that country, the entire country, turn red and push back on that. And I don't give a shit again about either side of the aisle. I'm just saying, push back on that stuff. Evil has been allowed to fester in this country for too fucking long. And if we let it go anymore, it's going to be dark, dark days for America. I wrote a song called America the Dead. Go check it out. I wrote it in 2012. Saw a lot of this shit coming. Like I'm sure a lot of you did too. But I wrote a song about pretty much exactly where we're at right now. I listened to it the other day and I was like, holy shit, I must be a prophet. Rachel Brinkley said, Trump's first term sure showed us how insane the deep state bureaucracies are. Yeah, he exposed a lot, right? I don't talk a lot of politics here, but I'm deeply invested in it. I pay attention to it, like I said, every day, because I want to know what the hell's going on. But the deep state, man, it's real. So many conspiracies turn out to be true. Give it 6 months, a year, 6 years, 10 years, whatever. They eventually show themselves to be true. Not all conspiracies, but a lot of them. And the deep state is desperate to get power back right now. And you have to pray that God put Trump in office for a reason. And that, again, I'm coming from my religious point of view here. Not ashamed to say that. And that it is to bring America back. And I'm not saying back to glory, make America great again, but pull it out of the darkness that we have sunk into as a society in America, what we have allowed to fester in this country, and what we've glorified in this country. Michael Bancroft said, Starmer just responded to this, saying it's important that people are free to speak their minds while thousands are jailed for social media posts. Yeah, that's even worse. I'm sure they would love to do that over here too. Michael Mann says, get money and corporations out of government. Yeah, that has a lot to do with it as well. Not all. You gotta be very careful with just a blanket statement like that. Like it's not that easy. It's not just all, but there definitely are a lot of elements in that need to be cleaned up. Is everyone ready to start the 12 ref? I think we are there, man. I think we are there, unfortunately. Yeah. Shout out Talk says hail at, oh yeah, hail to you guys, by the way. I see tons of people. By the way, if you haven't subbed, hit that sub. I see a lot of people in here. I'd love to have more conversations with a lot of you in the chat. We usually talk comic books and stuff here. Fun stuff. But today I just had to talk about this. I just had to get this off my chest. Christians' values are never to be apologized for, Joe. Stay true to yourself. No, it's facts, man. It's facts. It's an escalation. The beginning is years in the past at this point. No, you're right. I just hope that like a day like today can really kind of turn heads for everybody. And unfortunately, it had to start with the death of a very good man in the ripping apart of a family. But I hope the noise that's made today resonates and we don't forget that. And I hope we push back and we continue to push and we continue to get louder than the opposition. And we take the country back from these fucking people. Yeah, she is. N2 Paints says today all our hearts are heavy. Yeah, that's a fact. Always good to see you too, brother. Thank you for being here. All right, guys, that's pretty much all I had to say. I'm sorry I didn't get to all the chats. I saw a lot of you people in here. See John in here, Angela Curry, Wolf and Bear. Who else I see in here? Pastmaster Dan, Mo Biggs. We have who else that I didn't say hi to? Of course, Leandro. Good to see you, brother. Hale Lore's in here. Bub66. Skeleton Corpse Comics. Thank you for joining me tonight, guys. Paul Acevedo. Good to see you, man. Darmex. Frederick Gimont. I can't pronounce things, so I do apologize for that. Rick Saylor, Art of Roy. Yeah, if I didn't get to your comments, guys, I'm sorry. Next time, we'll be talking about something that's not so heavy. But just do me a favor, though. Don't forget this day. Don't let this get swept under the rug. Like the Trump near assassination or any of the school shootings that just are talked about for a day and then they're just swept under the rug because there's narratives out there. They don't want to put the light on the trans community, or they don't want to talk about the murder of the girl in Carolina because I don't want to put light on possible racism because it was a black dude. But, you know, they would do it the opposite way around if it was a white person or if it was someone on the right. Do not let this shit go. Carry this on. Be loud about it. Push back on it because this has to be the end. This cannot continue. We need to stamp this out now. Silence it now. Otherwise, I don't know where we're going. Let's leave you with this. Hug your family tonight, your kids, your wife. Because you just don't know when it's going to go, man. And I know that Charlie probably hugged his kids all the time. And who knew that today was going to be the day? All the petty stuff that we fight about. The little spats we have with our loved ones. Frustrations we have with kids. Remember, all that stuff is fleeting. A lot of it's not even worth it. Life is fucking short, man. It doesn't need to be any shorter. I believe in prayer. I believe that God is good and we're going to be coming out of this. I believe that. One voice is silenced, another will rise, and we're going to go from there. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. Have a great night. Be good to each other. I'll see y'all again.